Now, justice delayed is justice denied. And for years, African people have lived in the shadows of historical injustice. Colonization, slavery, exploitation, and unresolved crimes. One such case is that of Agnes Wanjiru, a young Kenyan mother brutally murdered in 2012 by a British soldier. Over a decade later, no one has been held accountable. Her case represents a much bigger wound, the demand for reparations. From stolen artifacts to stolen lives, Africa's call for justice is getting louder. In Nairobi, the Wakati Wetu festival, a two-day forum on reparations, brought together voices from across the continent calling for reparations, justice, and holistic healing. Our reporter Chabet Biriri brings you that story.
To all counsel, I directed that there should be utmost care in the handling of the material.
In September this year, the High Court issued an arrest warrant for a British national accused of murdering Agnes Wanjiru. The 21-year-old's body was found in a septic tank at a hotel in Nanyuki near a British Army training camp. On the night she was killed, she had reportedly been at a bar with friends where British soldiers were also present. Miss Wanjiru's family has long accused the British Army of covering up her death and the Kenyan authorities of failing to properly investigate the case at the time. However, her family, along with Kenyan rights groups and feminists, continued to push for justice, and in 2018, an inquest was opened into her death. In 2019, it was concluded that Miss Wanjiru had been killed by one or two British soldiers and that she had suffered stab wounds to the chest and abdomen. Then, in 2021, a Sunday Times investigation reported that a British soldier had confessed to colleagues that he killed Miss Wanjiru. The soldier left the army after the incident and reportedly continues to live in the UK. He is yet to be arrested and brought to book.
We want justice to be served as soon as possible, and not only to Agnes, but to other victims, and the change in the internal systems of the army.
The case of Agnes Wanjiru is not isolated. It echoes across the continent, from Congo to Kenya, Nigeria to Namibia. Africans are now demanding reparations.
It's knowing our history, knowing our cultures, going back to this knowledge system and to these values, and use them in the way we build our education system, in the way we build our economies. So, and use this knowledge and this culture in the ways we face the challenges in terms of climate, in terms of socioeconomic inequalities. So it's to move away from systems that continue to harm us, that have been harming us for the last 6 centuries.
In Nairobi, the Wakati Wetu festival brought together activists, historians, victims, and cultural leaders. The message was one, that the time for reparations is now.
Historically, there's been a lot of mechanisms that have been used to draw us back. And to put us into a position of disadvantage. And so at the end of this reparations decade, if we are successful, it means that we will now be speaking on equal terms with the rest of the world.
According to Kamara, a prominent human rights defender from Sierra Leone, Britain, France, Belgium, and other Western powers continue to enjoy the wealth built on the back of African exploitation. From stolen artifacts in European museums to unpaid debts of colonial atrocities, African voices are rising, refusing to be silenced. Kamara and other African activists are also arguing that reparations are not only financial but also intellectual, and they are now calling for the restoration of knowledge erased by colonial systems. The call is not just to governments but institutions, from the church to global corporations that profited from slavery and colonization. Organizers of the Wakati Wetu festival say Africa's wounds need real healing, and justice is part of that process.
Wakati Wetu means it's now our time, and the time is now for us to amplify those calls, bring together activists and advocates, connect the movement, whether it's the climate justice movement, whether it's the economic justice movement, or the tax justice movement, or the gender justice movement. Bring all of us together to ensure that we demand repair healing, and we resist together.
Chebet Birir, KTN, Nairobi.
After that, a story by Chebet Birir. Let's take a look at what you will be reading in